Chason, are you excited?
Look at my glove.
I know. Are you pumped about it?
Yeah, because I have to do a bit job because I have to pick up rocks.
You do have to pick up rocks. Are you going to pick up a bunch?
Wood.
And woods?
Yeah,
what?
And wood to make a new house.
That's right. Are you so excited?
Yeah. Well, and the thing right now, and the gate wide open, already open over there.
Try to step on the thorns, okay? That keeps them down. Step on them with your foot. See how I'm doing it?
Working hard?
Yeah.
What are we going to put down here?
Our cabin.
What's that right there?
I don't know what they're called.
Spring.
Spring. Yeah, I was gonna say stream.
Yep. Well, you're right. It turns into a little stream.
Yes.
Love you.
Thank you.
Gabriel. Hello. Hi. You want to build a house? What was that? What was that? Was that Dada?
Mama, I'm gonna have to take my jacket off. I'm getting a little bit sweaty.
You said smoke follows beauty? You're talking about me, right? He's out of here. Well, it's not too many days that you get to wear t-shirts in February.
In Missouri.
In southern Missouri, that's true.
But today we can, so here we is.
Today being so nice, we had to come down to the property and have a work day. I cleaned out our roadway because we're going to be having trucks come in for lumber and foundation, all these things.
The kids cleaned out the creek a little bit and they're on way.
And so now we're doing a little bit of a burn. I came down the other day and used a weed eater thing, had a blade on it, and cut up all of this brush that's in here. And now we're just doing this burn to kind of get everything out. So,
it's fun.
It is fun.
exciting.
It's our first day.
Yeah, day one. Sissy, we're gonna put a hammock between that tree and that tree.
That'd be a good spot. Up by the spring.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a perfect distance too
Yeah, I love it.
for a nice hammock.
I see even bigger. Come on, let's keep doing it. Whoa, Stop.
Hey everybody, my name is Michael. I am the dad of Loftis Party of Six. If you missed last week's video and you're just now joining us for the very first time, welcome. We are building a tiny house on this piece of property. We just bought 50 acres in southern Missouri, so that's a little bit of recap. Now what I want to talk to you guys about today is the plans. So I'm going to be showing you guys some of the ideas that we have for the tiny house. We have just so many different things that are going to be tied into this project that are going to be exciting, and so I just want to kind of hit on those today. And then as you start watching our series, or if you start watching our vlogs from this point on, you're going to be able to see how we progress in the things that we do and how we're going to be constructing the house, the materials we're going to be using, how we're going to go off grid. There's just so many different elements that are going to be at play here, and so from this point forward you're going to be able to see those. And so today I'm just going to hit a little bit on all of those topics. So first, let's talk about the plans. Originally, Laine and I, and I'm sorry she's not here with me right now, she is inside doing some homeschooling. So originally I wanted to do a log cabin. I've always wanted a log cabin. I thought they've always just been so cool to do. So when Laine and I originally bought the 50 acres, our original plan was we're going to do a traditional styled hand-hewn log cabin. Show you a picture of what that looks like here if you've never seen a hand-hewn log cabin. So my plan was if I could find some old logs that had been from the 1800s, I would purchase those logs and then use them for our project and then build a cabin based upon what those logs were already cut to and how big that cabin originally was. And if we needed to add on to it, we could. The problem that I was coming across was our budget. We had a budget on top of what we purchased the land for that we could allow ourselves to build this cabin for, and the hand-hewn logs were just sky high. Just for a small cabin, I'm talking maybe an 18 by 20, they were anywhere between $20,000 to $30,000, depending on the type of wood. Our budget was just ate up like that. The next step was to find new logs, because those are cheaper, because the old stuff is more desired, it's more wanted, so it just has a higher value versus the new stuff. And so I thought, well, maybe I can find some of the new hand-hewn that somebody has done. But even those, I found one that was pine. Pine probably wasn't my first choice just because of the quality of the lumber versus an oak. But I found a guy who had it for $9,000. It was an 18 by 24. It was everything that we wanted except for the price. It was just a little bit expensive. Another option that you can do is to actually cut the logs yourself. You can cut them, you can take them to a sawmill, they can cut them into logs for you, and then you can actually dovetail them or do whatever you want to do to make it work for your log cabin. The problem with that for us was the time. We could have found logs on our property, but our time was not going to allow it. And we have about a 3-month period here where we can build this house. And so it had to be something quick. So the next option was to just go stick built, which is what we did. We decided to do a stick built house, but on my parents' farm is an old red barn that was built back in the 40s. Because they're selling their farm, they want to tear down the barn because it has no value, and they want to use a lot of the material on the property that they're going to be going to, plus they offered for us to have some material. And so it was just a great way for us to just say, okay, let's go stick built. It's cheaper, plus we're going to be able to kind of go with the same old theme. So we're in the process of tearing that barn down. We're going to get a lot of the material from that barn, and then we're going to be using it on the cabin. Because we changed from going to a log cabin to a stick built cabin, then we're like, okay, we got to find a plan. We got to find a plan that is unique, that fits the property, that fits our style, that fits something that's modern, but yet has an old feel. And I didn't want a cookie cutter cabin down there in the woods, because there are so many out there and you see them all over the place. And I just didn't want anything that was something that you have seen before. We wanted something that was so rare and unique. And so what do? You go to Pinterest and you start looking around, or you go to Google and you look at images of old cabins or unique cabins or off-grid cabins. And so we looked at so many. And here's what we came up with. We found a cabin, I believe it's in New York. And when I seen it, I thought, okay, this would be cool. I'll show you a picture of that here. It's just a very basic cabin. This one was small. I think it was like 14 by 14, but it had a unique style because of the shed style roof is what they call that, where it's you just have one pitch on one side. It really caught our attention, caught our eye, and I asked Laine, I said, hey, can you see this cabin down here at this property by that spring? And she's like, yes. You know, all the windows that it's got in the front, and even the owner of this cabin, the way he decorated on the inside was a lot of barnwood. I think actually 90% of this cabin was made out of all recyclable barn material, barnwood. And so it gave us a lot of great ideas, and we're like, okay, let's go with this. Let's run with this. But we need a little bit bigger than this. We need a bedroom. We need a bathroom. We need a place for the kids to sleep because we have 4 kids. And we also just want it to have a little bit of modern amenities like the bathroom, like a sink, like running water, because we are going to be using it for months at a time, and we're going to be Airbnb-ing it whenever we are traveling. What we've always done is we just get out a pen and paper and we just start coming up with ideas on floor plans. So what we did was just a 20 by 24 cabin with an 8 by 8 add-on to the side. It's going to have 1 bedroom, it's going to have a loft upstairs, and then all inside is going to be, I'm hoping, 100% barnwood from the red barn. The thing is we got to see if we have enough material from the red barn to do it, because my mom and dad's wanting some. Obviously it's their barn, and my sister's wanting some of the material from the barn too. So we got to make sure that we do that evenly for everybody. And so if I run out of barnwood and I need more barnwood, then I will just go buy some. I think my cousin Jerry, who's helping me build, I think he has some barnwood, and so he's going to allow me to use some or buy some from him. And let's talk about my cousin Jerry. Now Jerry's in the process. He's getting ready to retire. I think he's going to do our cabin and then one more family member's cabin or house. And so I can't think of no better project to have Jerry on with us than this one, because this is going to be something that our family is going to greatly enjoy, and just having family members help you in the process, I think, just makes it that much more special. And so it's just going to be me and Jerry. Jerry's going to be the brains behind it all, and what I like to say is I'm his gopher, where he says, hey, go for this and go for that, or get this and get that. Okay, I'll be your gopher, Jerry. Just tell me what to go for and I'll go get it. I have a little bit of construction knowledge, not very much. I did it in my teens as a side job, and I did some stuff on our 2 other previous houses that we had, but I don't have a lot. And so it's going to be a learning experience for me, but Jerry knows what he's doing. So I'm really excited to have his wealth of knowledge, and hopefully I can learn some things as we go along. All right, now let's talk about off-grid. Because we are RVers and because we travel full-time, actually I don't know if you can see it, but right over here is our Jeep and our Class A motorhome. So our style of RVing is boondocking. If you do not know what boondocking is, basically it's being off the system, being off grid in a sense, because you're not plugged into any power. You have your generator, you have your water tank, you have your sewer tank, and you can go anywhere that you're allowed to boondock for free. And that's what we do. We find boondocking locations or off-grid locations, and very rarely, maybe 2 to 3 days of an entire month, are we ever plugged in to like an RV outlet, you know, going to a campground and plugging into the system. It's very rare for us to do that. Many months we have been just 100% boondocking. And so we love being off grid. We love the freedom that it offers us of not having to pay for electricity or sewer or water or all these things. And so whenever we bought this piece of property, and because we have a spring, I thought this is a great opportunity for us to really experiment with off-grid and using water as our power. And so our spring produces well over 100 gallons a minute. I'm going to show you guys some clips of that here now, but it really pumps out a ton of water. The plan is we're going to put the cabin right near the spring, probably less than 20 feet from it. What we're going to do is I'm going to use a water wheel. We're going to hook it up right down there by the spring, and we're going to be having a pulley system from the water wheel to the generator, and then the generator is going to be spinning fast enough that it's going to be providing electricity to a battery bank that we're going to have in the cabin. Then we're going to have an inverter, just like our RV. We have a generator, we have a battery bank, we have an inverter. Same thing at the cabin. And then we'll have our normal 110 outlets that we'll use for a refrigerator. We'll have an outlet for lights. We are going to be installing an AC unit. And if you have not heard of an off-grid AC unit, I'm really excited to be talking about what we're going to be doing, but I want to wait on that because I got to verify a few things before I announce it. But we're going to be doing an off-grid AC unit as well. And then a septic system. So yeah, let's talk septics. So I wanted a composting toilet, and I got shut down on that one. Listen, ladies sometimes just like running water, and I completely understand it. Right now in our RV, we have a flushable toilet. We do not have a composting toilet like a Nature's Head, or I think another one's called an Airhead. We don't have those in that, although we do want one. We just don't have one yet. But whenever we started with the cabin, it was like, okay, so what are we going to use for waste? The composting toilet was my #1 pick, but we're going to have guests, we're going to have family that's going to stay there, and we're going to stay there for a little bit of time. And so we just decided, let's just go ahead and bite the bullet and just put in a septic system. And it's actually going to be very simple, and it's not going to be very expensive. Probably very comparable to buying a composting toilet. If you did the Nature's Head or Airhead, I want to say those are around $1,000. Now you could do like a lot of people and buy you a bucket and sawdust. Those are very cheap and very inexpensive. But we have a large family and we're not really ready to go there yet. So I have addressed the plans, the cabin plans. I've talked about the electricity, I've talked about the water, I've talked about using the barn material for in the cabin and just making it as rustic as possible. Talked about the sewer, talked about producing the electricity, battery banks and all that stuff. Of course, there's a lot more details that's going to be involved as we progress into it and we start showing you guys videos. We're going to go more into detail about how we're doing things specifically on those items. But I just wanted to use this video as basically an introductory of what we're going to be doing. The how, the why, and all that stuff will come in each individual video as we go, because I'll have an individual video just for the septic or just for the water wheel or just for our off-grid system, the batteries, everything, the barn wood, tearing down the barn. So we're going to have individual videos for those things. This is why I'm really excited. I hope you guys are excited. I hope you guys want to follow along our adventures with us, and make sure you hit the subscribe button. And you guys have a wonderful and blessed day.